About 12 years ago at the Yairi factory, Mr. Yairi supported us to develop some new bracing, which hadn't been done for a while. And it was great because everybody got involved and everybody had different thoughts of where we wanted to take the voicing. And back then we came up with something called FST2 bracing, which stood for forward shifted type 2. We had all of these different types of bracing with acronyms, and FST2 stuck, and we just used that acronym. And it's been a great voicing for us for the past 10 years or so. But always wanted to move forward and always wanted to question our thinking and question ourselves and be perpetual with our development, our R&D, is really something that I think most creative or artistic people do, whether it's with their work or their music or their paintings. It's always pushing themselves to the next place. When you collect information from the past and you implement it or you learn from it, of course you want to use that. And we've used it now, what we've learned over the past 10 years, come up with a new bracing system called FST6. Still forward shifted, but it's lighter in weight. The braces are lighter, similar placing and a similar scalloping, but we use a different approach to the weights of the struts under the top, which we think's brought a new personality, different personality than we had before in many of our guitars. And we also made it very specific. So instead of having one bracing system that we apply to all shapes, now we have bespoke bracing weights for each body shape. So for our smaller bodies like Parlor and OM, we have a specific weight of braces. And then for our larger bodies such as Dreadnoughts and Grand Auditoriums, it's slightly different. We call it all FST6 because it's the voicing we were going for. This bracing system now appears in all of our Masterworks and our Honduran series, all of our all-solid guitars that are hand-carved braces. It's a wonderful sounding system that really frees up the sonics of the guitar. And it's available in Yairi 2024, brand new line with loads of amazing new models, launching at the NAMM show in 2024. As well as our voicing, which is so incredibly responsive now, and it always has been since FST2. It improves for our thinking, it improves the connection with the player. And really that's what it's all about, is improving that connection. And on our journey to find that perfect balance between strength and vibration, as we get closer to that perfect marriage, then we believe that we're making more of a connection to the player. So everything you ask of the instrument, every direction you give it, no matter how you play it, if you dig in, strum, fingerstyle, the instrument responds and it reacts to your requests. That's really what we're trying to do when we continually refine and go back to the drawing board with regard to construction. As well as the new bracing system, we've also brought out a whole host of new models. And again, some are very exciting wood configurations. And again, we found some amazing tonewood, which Mr. Yairi had collected decades and decades ago. And something which is really exciting, I think, in the new line is that we've chosen to use redwood paired with the East Indian rosewood. Redwood of this quality is incredibly rare. And we don't know where this wood came from or how it came into Mr. Yairi's possession, but it was certainly over 40 years ago. It's so wonderfully tightly grained, had to come from very large, very old, slow-growing trees. Pair that with East Indian rosewood and you get this warm, glorious, shimmering, almost darkness to the tone, which certainly, when I play the guitar, really pulls you in. Then we've also, for the first time ever, we've paired Adirondack, our 4A Adirondack, which we've used in the Honduran series for several years. We've now paired with East Indian rosewood, something we've never done before. We've never made guitars with Adirondack red spruce with East Indian rosewood backs and sides. Sonically, with FST6, it's so responsive. The bass is so clear and those trebles are so shimmering. It's almost addictive, and I certainly find some of these guitars hard to put down. And of course we continue with our Honduran series. And we had two new models. So we had the Grand Auditorium with a non-cutaway, super powerful, very articulate instrument. And we also add our PYM66, which is an all Honduran mahogany parlour. We have our FYM66, which has been hugely popular, and now we've got a 12 fret parlour in the same configuration. The line expands into many more new models. We brought in some vintage sunbursts, this one with a bit of herringbone, but we have expanded our grand auditoriums. Again, we bring Adirondack and we bring redwood into those. Same with OMs. So we have Adirondack, Sitka and redwood in a Dreadnought grand auditorium and a OM. And we've also found some really small batches of very rare wood. So we're going to, throughout 2024 and I guess forever, we will come out with very limited runs of very, very rare guitars for us and some exciting wood configurations over the coming months and years. When you compare Yairi, I think in the market, it gives us something which is quite rare because it's still made by hand. You know, these braces are cut and shaped by somebody who's been doing that for decades and who also teach apprentices to do that. The necks on these guitars have been spoke shaved with an old-fashioned spoke shave, and then somebody feeling that neck to make sure it's right, and then training other people, other generations who are coming through at the factory to learn all these wonderful skills. And I think that in itself, in having a team of very humble, experienced luthiers, passing those skills down and working with Alvarez, who I think bring another set of skills, I think is very unique. And certainly we've been absolutely one of the most fortunate brands in the world to work with such a wonderful company over the last 55 years to try and bring to the market some of the best guitars in the world. So there's 34 models altogether, lots of exciting things. Everything will be coming online. We'll be doing lots of content, so please check that out. Also remember that all of the acoustic electric versions of Masterworks will be carrying the LR Baggs Hi-Fi, which is our new choice of pickup, which is the 2 transducer pickups we use on the bridge plate, which was designed by Lloyd Baggs and his team, which we feel really brings out the voicing and the soul of these instruments when they're plugged in for live work. So Yairi 2024 is newly voiced with a bespoke approach to body shapes, different weights of braces and struts throughout the line, and it really frees up that tonal palette and freedom, you know, that you want in such responsive instruments. We also have lots of new models. We've brought in redwood, which we've paired with East Indian rosewood, and we brought in Adirondack as well, which is paired with East Indian rosewood. We've expanded our Honduran series. We've expanded the shapes throughout the series. We've got more grand auditoriums, more OMs, some with cutaways, some without. Just a very exciting, really classic looking line, which are without doubt the best guitars we have ever made.